Welcome to Bits and Pieces Quilting. Today I want to talk about Remembrance Day, so stay tuned. Hi, I'm Michelle and today is Remembrance Day, an important day to commemorate all of the sacrifices from our armed forces that enable us to live the way that we do. Here in Canada, we wear a poppy to remember as a tribute, I guess, or from the reflections of John McCrae's poem In Flanders Fields, where poppies blow. And it's a symbol of never forgetting. And so to commemorate Remembrance Day, I want to share a little bit about two organizations, one in Canada and one in the United States, that make a real difference in the lives of our soldiers. And that is Quilts of Valour. Quilts of Valour Canada to date has donated almost 25,000 quilts to service members to thank them for their contributions to the peace and security that we enjoy. And similarly, in the United States, Quilts of Valor has donated over 400,000 quilts to service members. So today I want to highlight a little bit of what I'm trying to do a little bit of my part to contribute to that effort. I've got a couple of quilts to show you and one that's in progress that I'm working on right now. So let's dive right in. As you may have seen in my video on the kindness of quilters, I was given these two buckets of leftover fabrics, bits and pieces in fact, from this incredible collection of Northcott fabrics. This is all Canadiana themed fabric. There's some great Inuksuks, there's some maple leaves, there's more maple leaves, there's lots of maple leaves, there's a few beavers and moose and all kinds of fabulous things in here, plus some black and gray and other things that all coordinate. And in honor of Remembrance Day, in honor of our active and retired and fallen soldiers, I am thrilled to be making some quilts for Quilts of Valour Canada. So as you'll see in an upcoming video, I went through all of these scraps and was able to pull out fabric for two mathemagical quilts. So here is one of it just folded up here. I will put in some photos here of Jason holding the quilt up in the backyard just to show you the full extent of it. But with some of the black grouting that I found in the black in this bin, plus some of these leftover pieces, I've made two of these really, really beautiful mathemagical quilts. And the video for you to make your own mathemagical quilt will come out very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. I have also made a bit of a plan with some of the fabrics in here. I found one of these blocks partially complete. So this was probably someone else, some leftovers, and there's so much potential here in this bin to make another quilt using this 5-inch square with a little 1-inch border and then a 2-inch outer border. So I've cut a few pieces. I'm not sure where they are, but they're in here somewhere. I've cut a few pieces with different centers and different borders, and I think that's going to make an excellent additional quilt. And then finally, I'm really excited to be working on some more of these projects. This is a great pattern based on a panel called Falling Leaves, and I've got the kits here that Sue put together for me. So I will be working on these ones as well. And then of course, as you can imagine, any leftovers from this will get put into these piles and then hopefully turned into yet another quilt for Quilts of Valor. The plan has come together for this project. The sun has set. It's a little dark in here, which is why I have all these shadows, so apologies for that. But this works out to be about an 8.5-inch block when it's finished. So I think 6 across by 8 down is going to give me a nice sized quilt, which means I need 48 of these in total, and I have 6 so far. So I have been digging around in the bins, and I have 5 or 6 of each of these different squares, and these are going to be my center squares. And then I found these little 1-inch strips, which is probably a leftover from this project. So I'm going to use these definitely on the lighter ones. I'm going to keep digging in here to find 1-inch strips for these darker projects, these darker blocks, sorry. And then I'll go through the bin as well for 2-inch pieces to do the outer border. I've also found these leftover pieces, obviously from another project, and I've measured these, and these pieces in the middle are 5 inches, so that's going to be perfect. And then there's a few of these as well, which I'll be able to pull apart and salvage these inner pieces to use. Well, I guess it has to be 5 inches wide, but yeah. So, oh wait, so here we go. So that's going to be at least a couple more blocks. So that's going to be good. I think I'm going to be able to get 48 blocks without a problem. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like me to write up a pattern for this. I'm kind of designing as I go. These are 5-inch squares with 1-inch borders and 2-inch borders, but happy to write this up as a pattern if anyone thinks that they might like to see that. Lots to dig in through here to figure out what borders and inner and outer borders I'm going to use, but I think we're going to have enough. And then there's loads more of these squares. So I'm going to have to think of something really clever to do with those, but probably for another project. Back to sewing. Now that I have the fabrics all sorted out a little bit better, a little bit more clearly, I can see what I've got to work with. So those are my sample blocks up there. And this is the pile, the first pile of about 12 that I've put the little 1-inch red pieces around. This are some various sizes I need to trim down. 2-inch pieces that I'm definitely going to use for the border. A 2¼ inch piece that I'll trim down and use for the border. Zooming all the way over here, 2½ inch pieces that I can cut down to 2 inches for borders, 3-inch pieces, 3½ inch pieces, 1½ inch pieces back in the bin because I don't think I'm going to use them for this project, very small pieces of 2-inch that are too small to be used for borders. And then these two piles are the big pieces or the leftover pieced bits. I don't want to cut into these if I don't have to because I think I can make another project out of most of those. And same here, I don't want to cut into the big pieces if I don't absolutely need to. But if I need them to finish this project, then I absolutely will. But I want to use up the smallest pieces first and then work my way up. So I've got 2 completed projects to share with you. The first is this great panel that I showed you at the beginning with the beautiful falling leaves around it and the coordinating fabric from Northcott Fabrics. It's just spectacular. I've made a couple of these to contribute to Quilts of Valour Canada. And the second one is my Mathemagical quilt. As I said earlier in the video, the full pattern and video for this project will be available soon, hopefully next week or maybe the week after, so you can make one of these yourselves. And I have used, again, that Northcott Fabulous Canadiana fabric to make 2 of these Quilts of Valour quilts. And then finally is the project I've been working on over the last couple of days. It's not quite finished, but I look forward to having that done very soon to pass on to Quilts of Valour. So let us take a moment to remember, and I'll leave you with the words of an American poet when he said, "At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them."